Hi guys, it's MattiAce, and in today's video I'd like to share my point of view when it comes to the sometimes rather toxic discussions happening between mostly Solana and Ethereum as of now, even though there are many other blockchains or their communities that are lately attacking mostly Solana, which of course is explained by the fact that Solana is getting more and more traction. It's becoming what is commonly known as the black hole, sucking everything in, which we have seen in technology stocks in the past, like Microsoft, Facebook, Twitter, so on. And there are investors and traders, mostly long-term investors, that see technology this way, where it's this one winner that takes basically all of the traction, where everything happens. Whether this is going to happen in crypto, I don't know. I really hope not. And even though this picture may give you another impression, I actually really do hope that Ethereum and many of these other blockchains are going to do well, because I believe that that adds to the decentralization, which is one of the main arguments for blockchain technology in the first place. I think the more blockchains we have and the more all these dApps that we are going to be using in the future, as much as they are spread out on more blockchains, I think that is a positive thing. What I also want to point out here before I upset too many Ethereum holders is that Ethereum is scheduled to have a massive upgrade, which is, well, using these roads as symbols, is going to pave this dirt road into a much more usable way of traveling in the future. We just don't know when that's going to happen. That being said, Solana has gained an enormous amount of traction. There are many indicators, or many people calculating this, saying that there is more activity on Solana than all other blockchains combined. And we see that in the growth of new users, the growth of transactions, the growth of dApps, and all the different ways of measuring different blockchains. It just points in the same direction, and that is Solana is just gaining more and more and more, partly at the expense of the other, whatever they are. So now, one of the most commonly used argument against Solana from all these other blockchains is, of course, its infamous outages, where we've seen that the blockchain has been either completely halted or it has been so congested that it seems like it's basically all down. Now, this is interesting from a kind of like a psychological point of view, where one of the most discussed so-called outage on Solana wasn't actually an outage at all. It was congestion that happened because it was spammed by bots, which seems like it was basically just an attack. And the irony in that is that this is basically an example of where Solana becomes a victim of its own success. Not only is Solana probably the fastest blockchain out there, at least among blockchains that is being used. We're not really sure how fast these really new blockchains really are. And if they are really fast, then unfortunately they are also normally very centralized. But what is unique about Solana when it comes to its outages and its congestion is that even when the Solana blockchain is congested, the gas fees normally didn't go up in any way that mattered, which is why people could spam it and attack it. While other blockchains, and I'll show you examples of that, basically every other blockchain, at least in the top blockchains, they have also had outages, but it's like nobody really cares, because when that happens, it affects so few people. It's just a small niche of people that are using the blockchain at a short period of time because of some new app that gets a few days of hype. But what happened with other blockchains, and we've seen this with I think Cardano, Avalanche, Polygon, I'll bring up some examples, where not only did they have congestions and outages, but when there is a lot of activity on these chains, which unfortunately happens very rarely, the gas prices goes up enormously, and that will automatically hinder people from using it, or especially from attacking the blockchain. So unfortunately, with all these other blockchains, if there actually was any activity on these chains, then you would have the same problem with those chains as you have with Ethereum, and that problem is of course that they are slow and that they are really, really expensive. Now, when Solana had its main or mostly discussed, I would say, outage, it wasn't really an outage at all, because people were looking at what you see here, Solana Analytics on Solscan, and they noticed that there was constantly transactions being pushed through on the blockchain. And when the blockchain, when Solana was at the slowest dip, when it was the worst of the worst during this congestion time, it was still 3 times faster than Ethereum. And this was called an outage by mainly the Ethereum community. Now that is irony if you've ever heard it. When Solana is only 3 times faster than Ethereum, or for the most part during this time of congestion it was a lot faster than that, maybe 10 times faster or 20 times faster, that's an outage by Solana standard. So there's a lot of attacks, there's a lot of FUD being directed towards Solana because it is the most adopted and the most growing and fastest adopted blockchain as of now. And that means that all these other blockchains, all these other communities are feeling threatened by Solana. Hence, they're attacking it. So let me show you a couple of outages that has been documented here. I'll see if I can find some, starting with Polygon here. Polygon blockchain nodes briefly went out of sync, affecting, let's see, Polygon network suffers from extended service outage after upgrade. Polygon servers multi-hour outage after node halts. So I'm not sure if I'm reading the same outage here or if it's a variety of different. July 29th, March 24th. Let's take a look at Cardano. Cardano recovers from an outage on 50% relay on and block something. Achieves 500 epoch without outages. Okay, congratulations. Network outage news general discussion. Cardano ADA network bounces back after node outage. So a little bit of outages on Cardano as well. What else can we, let's take Avalanche maybe. Did they have an outage? Avalanche had, I think they were up to like $25 per transaction in fees during one of these high congestion times. Avalanche fails to produce block for almost 2 hours. AVAX sell-off alert. Avalanche suffers major outage. So, as you can see, this has happened to a lot of different blockchains. It's just that in most cases, they get almost no attention because there isn't all that much happening on these chains. And in those rare cases when there is something happening, well, you have these problems. So because people feel threatened by Solana and not, I guess, Avalanche and Cardano and Polygon, well, they will attack Solana if they have a reason or if they find this, easy way to attack them. Because, Solana is taking a lot of liquidity and a lot of attention from everybody else. So now, let's be honest. If you had to go from, one town to another, and let's say it's a 100, maybe 150 kilometer drive, what road would you take? If you took the crypto argument out of this discussion and just think of it this way, would you take the right side dirt road, or would you take the left side paved road, which is Autobahn, or any other similar looking road? What would you choose? I mean, the answer is obvious, right? Now keep in mind, there are many strong reasons to take the dirt road. There are many strong reasons if you really want to look for reasons. If you look at the amount of accidents happening on the dirt road, there's probably nobody that has died on, in a serious traffic accident over the last 5, maybe 10 years, because, probably can't drive that fast anyway. There's probably very unusual, if ever, any situations when the dirt road on the right is being congested, any traffic jams happening on that dirt road? No. So in that case, when it comes to security and reliability, the dirt road has some really, really strong arguments. That being said, you would still most likely take the paved freeway on the left side if you decided to go from one town to another. It doesn't matter what arguments you bring up, you would still take the freeway if these were the two options. And also keep in mind, I'm not even bringing up the difference in costs. If you would actually do the calculations, do 100 transactions on Solana and compare that to doing similar 100 transactions on Ethereum, that would be a massive difference. And it's not for no reason that I, for example, have let's say there are so many different tools for this. I have this next block gas estimator. So you see this with especially now lately with all the airdrops, where people have to plan ahead and when they should claim their airdrops, or when they should perform these tasks based on what time the gas is normally at its lowest. Something that, like, I installed this for Polygon, and back then the gas prices was a lot higher. Now there's nothing happening on Polygon, which is why the gas prices are so low. It's, Polygon has been basically a ghost chain for I don't know how long. And well, for me who still do a transaction here and there on Polygon, this is great. But for, bag holders of MattiAce, which is soon going to change name to Pol or something, not that bullish. And well, the gas fees are not that high on Ethereum either, and you'd think that's a good thing, but it's actually more of a bad thing in that sense that it's because nothing is happening on that chain. So that of course brings us to the next thing. What is it that is happening on Solana? What are all these things that are happening? Well, one of the things that is happening a lot on Solana is that Solana is the blockchain for meme coins. And if that is something that you are interested in, I'm sorry, I have nothing to say. I have no advices to give you. I know nothing about meme coins. I have maybe 10 or 20 different of them in my wallets. They just drop in there for whatever reason, bonk, when, with, whatever. If I knew about that, I would probably get a lot more views. But if you're asking me for advices, then I say stay away from it. If you still want to try your luck with meme coins, then you have to learn from somebody else. However, what I am very, very interested in personally is the DePin narrative. Now, if you don't know what that means, DePin means decentralized physical infrastructure. And the most well-known decentralized physical infrastructure, of course, is Helium. And I've been talking about Helium for a long time. I still have an extra miner that if you live in a tall building somewhere in Gothenburg or in the nearby area, then that would be, let me know, and hopefully I can set one up in your apartment. And if you so even happen to live here, Karlatornet, at the top floor, then you know, call me. Now, another thing that I personally am very interested in, very bullish on, is liquid staking. I've always been staking my Solana and other blockchain, other coins as well, but what I've learned on Solana is something called liquid staking, where when you stake your Solana, in this case, you are rewarded with a liquid staking token that you can then use in a variety of different protocols, or if you want to use it for, you know, whatever. As long as you hold this liquid staking token, you are going to be receiving staking rewards for it. And the main protocol for this that I've been using lately, been bullish on, is Sanctum. That's what this protocol is called. And let's see if I can oh, seriously, guys, dark mode, please. All right, I apologize for how annoying this probably is to watch, but after, you know, using dark mode on everything, this is a little bit annoying. But so this project Sanctum is, I received a bit of airdrops from Sanctum, and I'm going to come out with a full video about Sanctum specifically, because they have something in the works which is called card. You know what? If I start talking about Sanctum now, this video is gonna be dragged out way too long. I have a lot to say about Sanctum, and I'm gonna leave that for the next video. So now, moving on to something that, you know, funny as it is, it's actually somewhat related to Sanctum in a way that this surprised me heavily, and I actually missed this for a few days. It's an announcement from UpRock, which I'm sure you know about me and UpRock for, I've been talking about this for quite a long time. This is part of the DePin narrative, which I believe in. I know a lot of people have been very disappointed with UpRock, with the earnings going down heavily. And the one thing that I would say about all of these apps, these earnings apps, it's a bit misleading. What they do is that they promote them as just install and forget about it and just earn passive income. And as much as that is true, what I mean by it being misleading is that you have so much more to gain if you stay active, perform tasks, and do whatever stuff that you need to do in order to, for example, collect airdrops or get extra rewards. So that with most of these apps, there is, you know, the amount of profit that you can make, the amount of benefits and the amount of tokens you can gain in airdrops is so substantial that it is far more than the actual earnings of the app in most cases. And you need to have a little bit of, you need to take a little bit of time with it. So for those of you who have kind of given up on UpRock or Noodle or whatever it is, KOII and all this stuff, like, you're missing out on a lot more than you might think because of all these airdrop potentials, and there's a lot coming in the future also. But here is something that is very interesting about UpRock and Sanctum together, and that is that UpRock is going to create their liquid staking token for Sanctum, and that will allow you to earn, I think, UPT. It's still a little bit unclear. I haven't, you know, during summer I just do not have the time to keep up to date with everything crypto, because there's a few summer months here, there's a few summer months where you can actually go to the beach and take a swim, and when that happens, I'm sorry, I just cannot keep up to date with all of the things happening here. But I would suggest you to keep your UpRock running, and don't miss out on these opportunities that present themselves, because they are quite plentiful in the upcoming future. I can assure you they have announced a lot of, or they have hinted a lot of things coming. So I'd say don't miss out. Now, speaking of which, one of those things, one of those additional airdrop potentials, or yeah, earnings potentials, is this DAT project. It's another crypto earnings app which is in testnet at the moment, and it explains all the things that you do here. You do DDoS test, cybersecurity, vulnerability scanning, all these things. All you need to do is just download it, connect to MetaMask, which is going to prompt you to a different blockchain called Agung network. I'm very new to this, and I installed it and did all the basics, but I didn't really have the time to learn about it. Another crypto app that I also associate partly with UpRock. I'm not sure their relationship with UpRock at the moment, and that is KOII. And this is one of the earnings apps that I'm probably the most bullish on. And maybe it's because I kind of understand what they are doing in a way that sometimes it's a bit vague and blurry from most of the other earnings apps. You don't really know what they're actually doing. But me understanding Arweave and these inflation tasks and all this Twitter stuff, if there is a Twitter right now, I'm not sure what tasks are going on at the moment, but KOII seems to be a really good app for earnings. And KOII is not actually on Solana. It's a fork of Solana, but they are going to build bridges to Solana and other blockchains, as far as I know. And yeah, we had a Google meeting, me and some of the devs of KOII. It was very educational, and it made me even more so bullish on KOII. So that's another one that you want to keep earning from. And there has been a month of airdrops that was like, was it June or something, where we earned quite a number of airdrops, one airdrop per day actually, and that is coming with the token generation event in Q3, as far as I know. So now I'm gonna finish off this video by showing you ELYS, which is on a completely different blockchain. This is actually in the Cosmos ecosystem, and this is one of the reasons why I'm so bullish on ELYS, and there are many reasons for that. Is that like this all-in-one dApp and blockchain, it's very convenient. It solves some of the nuisance of blockchain, some of the issues of things being just inconvenient. This is very convenient, very simplified, and they have also been made several announcements about bridging to Solana and other blockchains, and that actually puts another perspective in the blockchain communities, which you also have in Ethereum and Solana, where as much as you hear about all this toxicity and all this tribalism, there is a very big part of all these communities that are not at all this tribal, and instead most of us, we actually want to bridge all these blockchains to one another. We want to be able to have seamless interactions between all these blockchains, which is one of the reasons why I have been so bullish on dBridge and Wormhole and several other bridges, where they were actually big vulnerabilities for a long time. It was actually really uncomfortable using bridges in the beginning, at least for me, which luckily I did using the Wormhole bridge. It gave me a quite substantial airdrop, and dBridge was not nearly as lucrative, at least not for me, but maybe it's more coming in the future, I don't know. But that is one of the things about projects such as ELYS, where a lot of the crypto community are trying to get away from this tribalism and work together for, should I say, the greater good. I don't know, for lack of a better term, I guess. So yeah, hopefully this was an informative video. Hopefully it cleared out some of the confusion that we see a lot of in crypto, especially if you're new to crypto. There's a lot to learn, and me, very, very bullish on everything that I have mentioned in this video, and there's more coming. So thank you for watching.